Hello and welcome to Newscentre. I'm Parikshit. Luthra. On to the big story that we are tracking. Environmental activists and opposition parties across 4 states are protesting after the Supreme Court delivered an order on the 20th of November accepting the recommendations of a central government committee on a new definition for Aravalli Hills. According to this new definition, any landform with an elevation of 100 meters or more above local relief is an Aravalli Hill. Aravalli Range, on the other hand, is a collection of 2 or more hills within 500 meters of each other. This definition was recommended by an Environment Ministry-led committee comprising of representatives of Gujarat, Haryana, Rajasthan, Delhi, Geological Survey of India and Forest Survey of India. Here is why experts are worried. They say the new definition will encourage mining, construction and commercial activities. According to some activists, only 8.7% of the Aravalli landforms will be eligible for protection after this. Experts say 90% of the Aravalli range in Rajasthan will be vulnerable after this new definition. Overall, a substantial portion of the Aravalli Hills across 4 states will become unregulated. According to experts, this definition could lead to massive ecological damage and desertification. Aravallis play a crucial role in preventing desertification and maintaining groundwater levels. There is a worry that the new definition will increase the risk of destroying the natural beauty of the Aravalli range, and the judgment will remove ecologically sensitive land from legal protection. After widespread protest, the Union Minister for Environment and Forests has tried to clarify that the judgment does not imply that there are going to be relaxations for mining in Aravalli Hills. The government said that it's wrong to conclude that mining is permitted in all landforms below 100 meters. The government said that the Supreme Court, after a lot of deliberations, has accepted the government committee recommendations and imposed an interim moratorium on new leases. Minister Bhupendra Yadav said that mining remains completely banned in Aravalli Hills area in Delhi, and there is no change in reserved and protected areas of Aravalli Hills. He added that mining is allowed only in less than 2% of the 1.47 lakh square kilometers of Aravalli area across 4 states as of now. But despite this clarification, experts and lawyers have a lot of questions and say that the government must make this clarification before the Supreme Court. We will discuss that and much more in just a bit. But first, let's listen in to the Environment Minister.
परमिसेबल एरिया ऑफ माइनिंग तो पहले तो अलाउ नहीं होगी जब तक कोई एरिया आइडेंटिफाई नहीं किया जाएगा. इकोलॉजिकल सेंसिटिव, उसकी सेंसिटिविटी देखनी होगी. कंजर्वेशन क्रिटिकल एंड रेस्टोरेशन प्रायोरिटी एरियाज विद इन अरावली लैंडस्केप वेयर माइनिंग शैल बी स्ट्रिक्टली प्रोहिबिटेड और परमिटेड ओनली अंडर एक्सेप्शनल एंड साइंटिफिकली जस्टिफाइड सर्कमस्टांसेस. तो ये तो अरावली के प्रोटेक्शन के लिए है.
And joining us now to discuss this is Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court. Dushyant Dave, thank you very much for joining us. First of all, could you give us a sense of the problem with this definition of Aravalli Hills? What was the definition earlier? And now, this new uniform definition that has been accepted, which says that only landforms which are more than 100 meters from ground in length are Aravalli Hills. Why is this problematic?
See, first and foremost, I think people must realize that Supreme Court's order, and I just heard the Honorable Minister, clarifying the position, and I respect Mr. Yadav, he's a good friend, but I must disagree with him. Supreme Court's order of 20th November 2025 is a sugar-coated pill, and sadly, it is a bitter pill. It has opened up new vistas for degradation of the Aravallis, for destruction of the Aravallis, because once you accept this definition, then there is no letting it go, because government apparently wanted it. The old definition which was given by Forest Survey of India way back in 2010 to the Supreme Court and accepted by the Supreme Court was not required to be changed. So it is the government of India, together with these states which are, are run by the same political party, they requested the Supreme Court for constitution of a new committee. And the committee has come out with this definition, which makes complete mockery of a mountain range. You look at the common dictionary meaning of a mountain range, it will tell you that it is a series of more or less connected mountains ranged in a line. It is more or less parallel lines of mountains. It is an area in which greater part of the land surface is considerable degree of slope. Upland summits are narrow and small, and there are great differences in elevations within the area, commonly to over 2,000 feet or 610 meter. Now, this is a contiguous slope. Now, if you are going to say, as the new definition suggested by the committee is, that you will only treat it as part of the Aravalli if it is 100 meter and more, then I think most of the areas which is protected today will open up for all kinds of, commercial, business and other activities, including mining, because Aravallis are extremely rich in terms of minerals. And everybody knows that the business community's eyes are on Aravalli. Supreme Court, I must say one thing with great sense of sadness, has not been really, I would say, very careful about doing this, because we saw earlier during Diwali, it was the Supreme Court which, at the instance of the government, permitted firecrackers to be burst in Delhi and other areas, saying green firecrackers. Now, have you come across a single case where somebody, blasting yellow or red or blue firecracker has been arrested? No. Because what happens is, once you give them a license, as the Supreme Court has given, it is bound to be misused in this country. And government, I'm really sad to say that government has not stopped this nonsense.
Right. Mr. Dave, yesterday the minister said no mining is going to be allowed in Delhi. There is no change. Out of the total 1.47 lakh square kilometers of Aravalli Hill area across 4 states, only 2%, less than 2% is the area where mining can actually take place as of now. And they also said that when you speak about 100 meters, it's going to be calculated from beneath the surface. Do you think if the government is coming out with this clarification, they must say so in court as well? Do you feel there is something more that the government needs to say in court for the sake of transparency and making sure that this ecologically sensitive area remains protected under law?
See, there is contradiction on the part of the government, because earlier in May 2025, Honorable Minister Mr. Yadav, had approved the Aravalli Landscape Restoration Plan. And, it was a corollary to the National Action Plan to combat desertification through forestry intervention. In that, the minister had very categorically said that I am honored to present the detailed action plan for Aravalli Landscape Restoration, a visionary initiative that seeks to restore one of India's most ecologically significant mountain ranges. And in that statement, the Honorable Minister admits that the Aravallis are under serious challenge. Now, if that be so, what is the need of this avoidable controversy? See, I don't understand one thing, that on the one hand, you are, and Supreme Court order also, speaks about protecting Aravalli, etc. Then why did Supreme Court accept this committee's report? You have to err on a, safer side. As early as 1996, when Supreme Court passed the first order in Godavardhan's case, which protected our forests, the Supreme Court adopted a dictionary meaning of the expression forest, because Supreme Court said that if we are going to go by the meaning ascribed in the laws, then people are abusing the forest. That's exactly what is going to happen now. So I am really shocked that Supreme Court can be so naive as to accept this kind of a suggestion, when earlier Forest Survey of India had categorically said that no, it is not just 100 meter and above, but it goes, it said slope, foothill buffer of 100 meter, inter-hill distance or value of 500 meter, and the area enclosed by above definition, all will be part of the Aravalli Hills. Now, this is what was, there was no need to change it. So I am really surprised that government has accepted this approach.
Right. Mr. Dave, what do you think can be done now? The government has made one clarification after another, but this is not in court. This is in front of the media. It does not have legal value. Legal value is what the court accepts eventually. What do you think now needs to be done? And do you think there is still place for review, for people for activists and experts to go to court to seek some clarity and relief?
Yeah, I will tell you one thing. I have traveled a bit in Aravalli areas, and I can assure you, in the garb of saying that there is some legal mining going on, all kinds of illegal mining is going on in Aravallis from Delhi down to Mount Abu. I've seen it. near Ambaji, there was a beautiful forest called Balaram. And when I was a kid, I used to go there very regularly in 1960, 61, 62, when my father was district and sessions judge of Banaskantha. I went there, because we are doing some skill development project there. It is completely inundated, destroyed. There is mining going on day in and day out, and the forest has become virtually, non-existent. There was a beautiful river which was going through, which is hardly a river now. So we all know, frankly, first and foremost, government must stop all mining in the area, legal or not legal. Because in the garb of legal mining, large-scale illegal mining is going on. And government knows it, Supreme Court is aware about it. So I think first government, if it is serious, you see, look at the crisis we are facing today in Delhi with the AQI.
Right.
If the government doesn't realize this, or any damage to the Aravalli will only add to the AQI problem in Delhi and surrounding areas. Because these are part of ecology. These are part of environment which needs to be protected as best as possible. And there is no reason why government should do this. So I personally feel what government should do is, and I must say one thing, that one must give compliment to the amicus curiae, Mr. Parmeshwaran, who stood up before the Supreme Court and argued that this new definition should not be accepted. The old definition was good, and he said that this will open up a Pandora's box. So he did a great service to the nation.
Okay.
But so I do hope, and I believe that he has moved the Supreme Court for review of this order. And Justice Suryakant, I believe, new Chief Justice, has issued notice on it. Frankly, it's disturbing. On the verge of retirement, Justice Gawai being party to this kind of an order. He should have left it to his successor. I don't know why he passed this kind of order. So I feel that judges sometimes don't comprehend, because they feel that if government is feeding them something, it is in public interest. But no, government is not always in public interest. Government also subserves the interests of the business community, because business community is serving the political parties. They are making large-scale contributions to political parties. We see that. So I think...
So those are very important points. So you're saying the Supreme Court should have been more circumspect. Let's see what happens if the review takes place in the coming days. Thanks once again for joining us, Mr. Dave, and putting that entire issue in context for our viewers. Let me also get in Varun Chopra, an advocate at the Supreme Court, who's joining us. He has been commenting on this matter. Varun, what really is the way out? And despite the amicus, as Mr. Dushyant Dave was saying a short while back, the amicus was against this new definition, but the Supreme Court was convinced to accept it. How do you think this ended up happening?
See, the amicus, like Mr. Dave also said, that amicus in para 30 had specifically pointed out that if you accept the definition of Aravalli Hills as per the new committee report, any hill which is above the elevation of 100 meters will only be accepted. However, thereafter, the government was represented, and at para 31 it was stated that against this, the learned ASG submitted, if the definition of Aravalli Hills and ranges as suggested by the FSI is accepted, it would exclude large areas from the Aravalli Hills and ranges. She, however, submitted that the definition suggested by the committee is adopted. A larger area would be included as part of Aravalli Hills and ranges. So it is ex facie that there was some major confusion in understanding that any person could understand that if I say elevation of 100 meters and a slope of 3 degrees, which will include a larger area. So this was the representation before the court, and the court has blindly accepted the committee's report in the end and said that we duly accept the definition, which in my opinion is draconian now, in fact, for the entire Aravalli Hills and the ranges, and which was also pointed out by Mr. Dave himself.
You know what I would also like to ask you, Varun, the government has been saying for the last 2 days that there will be no mining in Delhi. There is no change in the authorized areas for mining. Having said that, does this leave areas in other states, including Haryana, including Rajasthan, including Gujarat, susceptible and vulnerable? Do you feel that the government should also clarify what happens in those areas? Definitely. I am asking myself a question: why does government only relate itself to Delhi? Aravalli Hills is not only in Delhi; it is in Rajasthan, it is in Haryana and Gujarat. Why only in Delhi?
the mining is stopped? Why not in other areas? There is a reason behind it, because there are mining leases which are already going on, and the judgment says the illegal mining which is already going on will not be touched upon.
Right.
And they will be in strict accordance with Para 8.
Varun, what I'd also like to understand from you, when it comes to the Supreme Court, when it comes to Supreme Court saying that there is going to be a moratorium on new licenses till the time a management plan for sustainable mining is developed. What is the danger here? What is the loophole according to you? And when it comes to mining for critical minerals, what does the judgment say? And what are experts and what are lawyers like you concerned about?
So see, this MSME plan, MPSM plan, which is mining management plan, this has to be established. It has to be based on a report. Now that report is to become, and they will find out permissible areas for mining. Now, once they find out permissible areas for mining in terms of the new definition, so anything which is below 100 meters will be susceptible to mining. That is the actual danger which one has to look into, and that will be the loophole which the mining association and the mining parties are going to look at.
All right. Thank you very much, Varun, for joining us on the program, sharing with us your concerns about the judgment of the Supreme Court, the new definition, and what the government must do next in terms of bringing a clarification and making sure mining all across the Aravallis, be it legal or illegal, must stop completely. We take a short break at this point, but when we return, we speak about the economic momentum in the country. India and New Zealand finalize a free trade agreement. This marks India's 7th trade agreement since 2021 as the government attempts to diversify the export markets amidst uncertainty over a US trade deal. We discuss all the economic developments, the government's reform agenda with CI President Rajiv Memani on the other side.